Have you ever felt completely hopeless? Like you've hit rock bottom and there's no way out? I want to share a story with you today. A true story that might sound unbelievable, but it's a powerful testament to hope when all seems lost. This is the story of Wenceslao Moguel, a man who stared death in the face and lived to tell the tale. The year is 1915. Mexico is in the midst of a revolution, a time of chaos and uncertainty. Wenceslao, a young soldier fighting for Pancho Villa, finds himself in a desperate situation. He is captured by the opposing forces. In times of war, justice is often swift and brutal. There's no lengthy trial, no jury, no chance to plead his case. He's immediately sentenced to death by a firing squad. Imagine that moment. The fear, the cold reality sinking in your life. Everything you've known, every dream you've had is about to end. Wenceslao is lined up against a wall. He can hear the commander shouting orders, the shuffle of the soldiers' feet as they take their positions. He sees the rifles, 9 of them all aimed directly at him. His heart is pounding in his chest, a frantic drumbeat counting down his final seconds on earth. He closes his eyes, maybe saying a silent prayer, bracing for the inevitable. The order is given. Fire. The world explodes in a deafening roar of gunfire. 9 bullets tear through the air, finding their mark. Wenceslao feels the searing pain as they rip into his body. He collapses to the ground, the dust and dirt mixing with his blood. The world starts to go dark. For all intents and purposes, he should be gone. 9 shots at close range, no one survives that. But this is where the story takes a turn that defies all explanation. The commander of the squad, wanting to ensure the job is done, walks over to the seemingly lifeless body. This is a common practice, the coup de grace, the final mercy shot to end any suffering. He places his pistol to Wenceslao's head, right near his temple, and pulls the trigger. A 10th bullet, the final nail in the coffin. The commander turns and walks away, satisfied that the execution is complete. Wenceslao is left for dead, his body to be collected later. But he isn't dead. Miraculously, impossibly, Wenceslao is still clinging to life. The final shot to his head, which should have been instantly fatal, had somehow not destroyed his brain. It passed through his cheek and jaw, causing a horrific injury but leaving his life intact. As the soldiers march away and the silence returns to the courtyard, something stirs within him. A flicker of consciousness, a will to live that refuses to be extinguished. Despite the unimaginable pain and the 9 bullet wounds riddling his body, he waits until nightfall under the cover of darkness. Every movement is agony, but he knows he has to escape. He summons a strength he never knew he possessed. Slowly, painstakingly, he begins to crawl. He crawls away from the execution ground, away from the place where he was supposed to die. He drags his shattered body through the dirt, inch by painful inch, fueled by a sheer force of will that is nothing short of miraculous. He crawls and crawls until he reaches a nearby church, the Church of St. James Apostle. He collapses at its doors, a broken and bleeding man. The people inside find him, and they can't believe their eyes. This man, who was executed just hours before, is alive. They rush to help him, tending to his wounds, offering him shelter and care. They see his survival as a divine miracle, an act of God. And who could blame them? How else do you explain it? A man shot 9 times by a firing squad, plus a final shot to the head, and he not only survives, but has the strength to crawl to safety. Wenceslao himself believed his survival was a direct intervention from a higher power. He felt that Jesus had stood with him in that moment, deflecting the bullets just enough to spare his vital organs, preserving his life against all odds. He would later say, "Jesus stopped the bullets." This wasn't just a story he told. The physical evidence was undeniable. For the rest of his long life, Wenceslao carried the scars of that day. His face was permanently disfigured by the coup de grace, a constant, visible reminder of his brush with death. The bullet had destroyed part of his jaw and cheek, leaving a gaping hole that he would often put his finger through to show people, proving the authenticity of his incredible story. His story became legendary. In 1937, he was invited to appear on the popular radio show, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Robert Ripley, a man who dedicated his life to finding the most bizarre and unbelievable true stories from around the world, introduced Wenceslao to a global audience. He was nicknamed El Fusilado, which means the executed one. Imagine the impact of hearing this man, in his own voice, describe the moment the bullets hit, the feeling of the final shot, and the crawl to freedom. It captivated the world. Wenceslao lived for many, many more years, passing away in 1976. He lived a full life, a life that was almost cut short in the most brutal way imaginable. His story isn't just about surviving a firing squad. It's a profound story about the power of faith, the resilience of the human spirit, and the possibility of miracles even in our darkest hours. When you think about the challenges in your own life, maybe they feel overwhelming. Maybe you feel like you're facing your own kind of firing squad, a health crisis, a financial disaster, a deep personal loss. It can feel like there's no hope, no way out. But then you hear a story like Wenceslao Moguel's, a story that pushes the boundaries of what we think is possible. It reminds us that even when logic and reason say it's over, there can be another chapter. Whether you attribute it to divine intervention, as Wenceslao did, or to an unexplainable will to live, the message is the same. Don't give up, even when you're on the ground, wounded and left for dead. There might still be enough strength left for one more crawl, one more push towards safety, towards a new beginning. Wenceslao's story encourages us to hold on to hope. It challenges our understanding of life and death, and it invites us to believe in the unbelievable. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary things happen when we are at our most vulnerable. His legacy is not just one of survival. It is a beacon of hope for anyone who feels like they re-up against a wall with no way out. Remember El Fusilado. Remember the man who was shot 10 times and lived. And remember that even in the face of impossible odds, hope can survive. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this incredible story. If it moved you, please share it with someone who might need to hear a message of hope today. And do you not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories that inspire and challenge us. We'll see you in the next one.